welcome to Day 4 of Seahawk Talk. My name is Ed Habishaw, Associate Athletic Director and Sports Information Director at SalveAthletics University, and I've got another 4 guests lined up for today's Seahawk Talk sessions. We have Kevin Gilmartin and Sebastian Noordzy, Chelsea Francis, and John Ingalls. I'll show that up on the screen shortly. Info box. Overlay. As I mentioned, Kevin Gilmartin is our leadoff batter. He's coming to us from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Let's go to him right now. Welcome, Kevin. How are you doing?
I'm good. Obviously, it's been a crazy time in the wonderful world of the pandemic. It's you get the roller coaster of the highs and lows of everything. Obviously, it's very scary. Biggest lows that we all are going through is obviously people are dying, and it's tough to take. We've had 4 people from the Salve football family that have passed away, and that's very difficult. I mean, obviously, going through a loss is extremely heartbreaking. At the same time, not being able to get together and celebrate the lives with the loved ones is extremely difficult. I mean, that's the list of the lows that we're going now during this pandemic. But at the same time, there are some silver linings, some positives. Obviously, we've had 2 people that I know of that have grew, positive for COVID-19. One friend of mine who lived right around the corner, she tested. Her son is actually going to come up to Salve in the fall, and he's going to be a football player. But she caught it, and she battled. So we're proud of her for that. At the same time, one of the players, his mother caught it as well, and she also through it. And those are the big positives when you see people fighting their way through it. And those are positive things that are. But every time tragedy, Mr. Rogers said it best. There's always some people that step up, and you look to those people at those times. It's people that are becoming heroes that are like the grocery clerks, the people that are in the markets that are doing their jobs, and they're doing it for us. That they're putting their lives on the line. They're not normally out there doing. They're doing it now, and that's something that I'm proud of. But not the people are, they do it every day. The cops and the nurses, they're used to putting their lives on the line. I mean, the bosses, the Iscaras, the Gooses, the Chervinos, the Giffneys, the people that the soccer football family out there on the front lines that we're so proud of. And then the nurses. The nurses are finally getting great recognition that they deserve. I mean, people are to them right now, and I talked to a couple that are out there, and them, and one guy in particular I talked to was Steve Tomaselli. His fiance, Jade, she's a nurse at Mass General, and his sister is a nurse at Sloan Kettering, and been with him for a little bit, and I was asking how are they doing, and expecting the difficult and how tough and everything through how exhausted they are. But instead of saying that, his response was they're kicking ass. And that's the beautiful thing about the heroes is that it's their time to step up, and they're doing it. And that's the people that this is great. And that's so when you ask how am I doing, I'm sitting here in my basement in Portsmouth on football. I'm doing great, and it's because there's people out there that are kicking ass for us so that we can be safe.
And love seeing the fact that you talk about the silver linings. One of the silver linings is that
entertainment, and this is definitely one of them. In my life have I to own a beard or a mustache, but I get some free. It looks pretty bad. But, I'm okay with something that I can do.
It's more than I can do, so I give you a lot of credit in letting it go.
Right. Who knows? Maybe next week it'll be blonde. We'll see what happens.
Ooh, we've got options. That's what I love. Kevin, let's talk about your past season. You're very similar to a lot of our Seahawk head coaches, especially the spring sports. You're going to carry a win streak into 2020.
I mean, we have a win streak going right now. Every year you're saying it's a new year. It's 2020 is a new year. You do have a win streak going. You always want it to be longer. That's the nature of what are is the fact that we all want that next one. And we did have one. Ended the season with a win because it was a great year with those people last year. But moving into 2020, we were thinking this is going to be our year. And then it started off great. We had Baby Yoda going on, and then we had everything else that was going on, and now all of a sudden we could throw a little curveball with COVID-19. And so we'll see how 2020 goes, but we're excited for it.
Let's talk about your seniors from the class of 2020. You had a huge group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every year we've been right around this number. Where this year 23 seniors. We had 13 on the defensive side of the ball, 10 on the offensive side of the ball, and then we had the 24th senior was Matt, who's a player of ours that he retired as a player and he came out as a coach for us, helped us out. We had 24 seniors this past year. If you want me to talk about each one of those guys, we'll have to go for a full day because I can talk to probably about each one for about an hour. They're absolutely phenomenal individuals. I mean, the amount that they've and that they're gonna do in the future is unbelievable. I mean, we've got two guys that have already saved somebody's life. With Drew, we got one guy that's in the ROTC, signed up in the Army, in Ryan Farrell. We got a bunch of guys are gonna go on and complete their masters. What they're doing. We got a handful of them that are eligible to be able to come back play next year, and so that's gonna be great to see them back out on the field. And they got another handful that are gonna stick around because they're gonna be finishing their mass coach for a little bit. So, those guys that are 25, they're successful and going to be great, and that's the positive things. But to rattle them, I'm going to try to go audition. Try to, as I think about them, you got Nick Palucci, Jack Gill, Brandon Kaplan, Suki Singh. That's the defensive line. Was 1 and 2 defensively this year, and that was. The hard part was our defensive front. I know because of those things. Factor Drew Ballard was captain of our team, and I mentioned earlier we also happened to a little thing earlier last year in saving somebody's life. It's something that one of the greatest things that you can possibly do. You can create a life, and Drew's already saved a lot, so God bless him. Defense act-wise, we had I think we had 8 defensive backs last year. We had Ron Farrell, Hayden Pereira, John McConnell, Riley Tupper, Justin Jantorno, Kyle Fennell, Stephen Cloud, you must respect this Klaus, and Angelo DeSanto. And so, great group of guys that want to. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you had Ronnie Mart as running back, Nick Garcia, Brendan Nunes, Mike Nestor, and then tight ends Justin Brochard and Ryan Lawton. And then from the offensive line, you had Pat McGrady, Mike Saunders, and Kyle Wisniewski. So you got 23 guys, and then Matt was our graduate coach. So 4 guys that did phenomenal things. We were in a good game last year, and it's because of the heart and character of those guys, and that's the beauty of it. That you see the heart and character team, and you can ask how their plays, and we can tell you stories about them, but I guess the truth is going to be 30 years from now when you look back at this class, and you're going to realize how successful they are because of the greatness that they are, and they're going to be successful. Is what they're going to be. There's going to be could be a rap star, it could be a general, it could go anywhere with these guys. But we're looking see what they're going to bring us in the future.
Excellent, Coach. How has recruiting gone for you in 2019, 2020, looking ahead to next fall?
Yeah, our recruiting has been really off the hook. I mean, one of the great things is we had 139 players on the roster last year at the start of camp, and then we had 137 at the end of the season, and so we had a lot of really football players on the team, and so we go after a small tight group, and right now we're with some really good players that are coming in that are gonna come in and make an impact, and 100+ guys on a team, and when you're out there recruiting, you're telling hey, this is how many guys we have, good players, but the guys we went after are good players too, and they know that they're gonna come in and compete for jobs because they want to take somebody else's job. But at the same time, our guys that are on the team, they let's bring them up because it's only going to make us a better team. And so they're welcome into the family, and they're already part of the play football family. We're expecting big things from Tierney, like we talked about earlier, and I think this recruiting class should be should be a pretty good impact for it. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Another member of the Salve football family, you mentioned her earlier, your daughter Lainey. She's into equestrian. I'm sure she'll enjoy when we get caught up with our equestrian program later on in today's show. How has she been dealing with this coronavirus pandemic?
Yeah, well, her school, they started off on a spring break. They had they upward a 2-week spring break, and now she has that school, so they cancel the class. Internet classes now going forward. She has to get up in the morning for that. But during the 2-week spring break, I said I was going to do some homeschooling with her, and so we did we did better education. Actually, down drove her and everything. She's a sophomore in high school now, so she's going to be going down that path soon. The driver's ed. Then we did a little home economics. We made some sauce. We had a tomato sauce. The night with a little chemistry class, we watched Breaking Bad, and so we did a little bit watching on that. So the toughest thing is it's the social interaction with all these guys. I mean, with Lane, her classmates, with all our students, they're just in the part or nothing, and we miss them. That's the part that's heartbreaking. This morning, I was on with our quarterbacks. Just seeing their faces, I made it all of us when we went, and we're talking for a little bit, and Sam Van Tol said, give me in your bill tonight. I said absolutely, and so Sam here got out. As I looked at him today, his hair was like out of control, and this is only two into this. Who knows what's going to happen to him in the next couple days? It's going to be, he's gonna have a mane of a hair going forward. So, but it's exciting to see people, and that's the part that we're all missing. And we have to do what we can to stay high, but be able to reach out to loved ones luckily.
And hopefully you'll be the trendsetter in the mustache area.
Well, definitely trendsetter, positive and negative. I mean, I'm rocking this. Coach Rankin, he's working the mullet. Coach, everybody's doing this little something, a little exciting to make our lives a little more during this.
Well, great to have you on the show on Thursday afternoons. You always kick off our 3 o'clock segment. You're looking great, Kevin, and hope the family's doing well and hang in there in Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Enjoy. Good luck. Peace. Love you.
Love you too, Kevin. Take care. That's Kevin Gilmartin, South Virginia football. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome to Seahawk Talk segment 2 on Thursday, April 2. I'm going to be joined by our head volleyball coach, Sebastian Noordzy. He's coming to us from North Kingstown, Rhode Island. We're bouncing around the state. Hello, Sebastian.
Hey, Ed. How's it going?
Very good. You're looking good in North Kingstown. How's things been going for you during this shutdown of so many things?
All things considered, it's been going pretty well. The morning commute, it's not as pretty as it has been, but it's definitely way shorter. I think the big part is the timing of when I got hired, because now I have all this stuff to do at home. It's perfect.
when you got hired, you had a little bit of a commute coming over the Newport Bridge. One of the positives we can look at now is the fact that construction has resumed on the Newport Bridge, and you don't have to deal with that.
Nope, that's perfect.
Well, as we said, you got hired to replace longtime Seahawk head coach Lauren Parsons. You and Lauren have had a connection since way back. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I've known Coach Parsons for a couple of years now. She is involved in volleyball around Newport, beach volleyball, indoor volleyball, and I've known her from just around there because we're both part of that Newport beach scene. So I was able to know her a little bit, and then once I found out that the job opened up, I immediately was like, hey, who do I know that knows her very well? I'm going to contact her myself. How do I get that connection to get her recommendation? And luckily it all worked out, and here I am.
That you did. You will very highly recommended both by Lauren and many others. And as Jody mentioned during the hiring process or the introduction event that we had for you and your returning Seahawks in the meeting room downstairs at Rogers Recreation Center, she said we had over 100 candidates from a national search, and we were fortunate to land one right in our backyard, Sebastian Noordzy.
Yeah, and I was fortunate to have a great job in a place that I absolutely love. Can't beat Newport, can't beat Salve.
The Seahawks are coming off another strong season. What do you think about the team that you're inheriting from Lauren Parsons?
So I met the girls, and they couldn't be a nicer group of girls, and B, they have all the boxes checked out. They have experience on the court in key positions. They have a big group of young athletes, and the recruiting class coming in, it's going to be great. I couldn't have asked, again, for a better situation to get into in my first year here.
And you've been part of that recruiting right away. You'll get listed in the directory as a part-time head coach, but that's just a title only. You are in the office nonstop. I see you on your computer. You're watching a lot of video that you're able to access from many different areas. Talk about that process and how you approach recruiting.
Yeah, so how I approach recruiting is I'm just looking for athletes who are A, great kids, and B, skilled in the sport. I've been reaching out, calling all my contacts that I know. If you coach club in the area, I've been like, hey, do you have any kids? Trying to find good athletes to bring into the program. I think the better athletes we can get into Salve, the more CCC matches we're going to win and the more NCAA matches we're going to get to. And that's really what we're trying to accomplish here.
Where have you found the greatest amount of talent that shows interest in Salve Regina?
Well, I've had a few kids reach out from Texas, a couple from California, so those are the hotbed areas. And then definitely some kids from Arizona who are very talented, including one coming in. So kind of all over the country I'm looking for. And then, of course, the Northeast. There are some players, they all have heard about Salve and their reputation. So they've been reaching out, and I've been contacting them.
Sebastian, what about your background both as a player and also as an assistant coach going through the program at the University of Rhode Island?
Yeah, so me as a player, I was a 5-year player at the University of Rhode Island. Started all 5 years and was the captain of 2 of those years. And I couldn't have asked for a greater experience in the club volleyball scene because it does allow more freedom to be a student. You still have that athletic part, you still have that competitive part, but you get to run an organization, which actually helped prepare me for coaching and all the administration work that I would have to do here.
You are sporting something similar to our previous guest, Kevin Gilmartin, and when we first met you, you were freshly shaven. Yep. What's happening with the facial hair?
Yeah, I decided to change it up during this shelter at home. Although I gotta say, Coach Gilmartin does have that nice mustache. I might have to bring that out.
Well, you've got options, a heck of a lot more options than I have, especially with the beard growth. I've given mine a few weeks and it hasn't panned out, so I give you a lot of credit. Right now we're showing on screen the final point in the home playoff match, and now your introduction to the Seahawks at the Rogers Recreation Center. And we'll come right back here. So this clip dissolves. Sebastian, when we return in the fall, and I'm positive we will, what do you have in store for preseason with your Seahawks, and how will you get them ready for the upcoming year?
Yeah, so for preseason, my big plan is just to shift the culture into competitiveness. I'm looking to have competition in every single spot in any way we can. That way, if we can create an environment of competitiveness in the practice gym, once we go into these matches, we're going to be used to it already. That being said, it's not going to be cutthroat. Like, we're still going to be a family at the end of it, but we are going to compete every single day.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait for you to have your first year head coach experience. You've already been doing a great job by getting right in there and going after it, becoming a head coach and trying to do everything you can to get ready for your upcoming season. That'll happen for you in the fall of 2020. We'll have preseason for you and the Seahawks in August, and you'll be on campus with several other fall sport teams: football, field hockey, men's and women's soccer, cross country, and women's tennis. We'll join women's volleyball, and we'll have a lot of Seahawks back in Newport. So hopefully the construction on the bridge will be simmering down by then.
Hopefully.
All right. Thank you, Sebastian, so much. Hope you stay well in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. We'll be in touch with you next week.
For sure. See you then.
Thanks, Sebastian. That's Sebastian Noordzy, our SalveAthletics University women's volleyball head coach. We'll be back with equestrian after this short break.
Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. No, not that one. Let me finish. I'm Mr. Ed Habershaw. Not the talking horse, but I am going to be talking about horses, and in particular, the ones that ride those horses. SalveAthletics University Equestrian Team. Welcome to segment 3 of Seahawk Talk on day 4. We are here on Thursday, April 4. Unfortunately, I will not have Chelsea Francis, our first year head coach for SalveAthletics Equestrian, on live with me. But I was fortunate to be able to attend the home show that the Seahawks hosted at Sandy Point Stables on Saturday, March 7. What a great job they did, and they finished first overall. So we're going to show you some footage from that and play some music in the background. Hope you enjoy it.
I raise a hallelujah, presence of my enemy. I raise a hallelujah, louder than my unbelief. I raise a hallelujah, My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah. Heaven comes to fight for me. I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm, louder and louder. Gonna hear my praises roar up from the ashes. Hope will arise. Death is defeated. The King is alive. I raise a hallelujah with everything inside of me. I raise a hallelujah, and I will watch the darkness flee. I raise a hallelujah in the middle of the mystery. I raise a hallelujah. May you lost your hold on me. And I'm gonna sing middle of the storm, louder and louder. Gonna hear my praises roll, Lord, up from the ashes. Hope will arise. Death is defeated. The King is alive. I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. I raise a hallelujah louder than my unbelief. I raise a hallelujah. My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah. Heaven comes to fight for me. Yeah. Oh, gonna sing in the middle of the storm, louder and louder. Gonna hear my praises roll, Lord, from the ashes. Hope will arise. Death is defeated. The King is alive. Sing a little louder. Sing a little louder. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing a little louder. Oh Lord. Sing a little louder, yeah. Sing a little louder in the presence of my enemies. Sing a little louder, louder than my unbelief. Sing a little louder, my weapon is a melody. Sing a little louder, yeah. I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm, louder and louder. Gonna hear my praises roll, Lord, from the ashes. Hope will arise. Death is defeated. The King is alive. There is a hallelujah. There is a hallelujah. There is a hallelujah. There is a hallelujah. Well, your word says that you inhabit the praises of your people. And wherever two or more gather in your name, you're there with us. Father, I just come tonight to ask your protection on Oak King. To pour out your blessing, your protection, your mercy, your grace, your kindness, your faithfulness. The only name by which we're saved. Thank you, God. We stand and lift up our hands. Oh, the joy of the Lord is our strength. We bow down, oh, the word worship you now. Oh, how great, how awesome is he. Together we sing. Holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Holy earth is filled with glory. Holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Holy earth is filled with glory. Holy earth is filled with glory. We stand and lift up our hands. For the joy of the Lord is our strength. We bow down, oh, we worship you now. How great, how awesome are you? Together we sing. Everyone sing, yes, yes, yes. Holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Holy earth is filled with glory. Holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Holy earth is filled with glory. Holy earth is filled. Holy earth, you made heaven, you made the earth, so filled with your glory. And it's rising up all around. It's the anthem of the Lord now. Oh, it's rising up all around. It's the anthem of the Lord now. And together we sing. But together we sing. Together we sing. Holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Holy earth is filled with glory. Holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Holy earth is filled with glory. Holy earth is filled with glory. Holy earth. Oh, filled with glory. Oh, filled with your power. Oh, rising up. The world around my God, we know. Oh, it's rising up. It's rising up. It's the together we sing. Together we sing. Together we sing. Holy is the Lord. Holy is the Lord. Holy is the Lord. So much fear in the world right now. You can see it.
It's my cousin Raymond singing.
Yourself in front of the TV.
Down in Florida. Beautiful weather.
It's hard to escape the fear. But I heard there's 365 places in Scripture where it says, either be not afraid or do not fear. Because we never were in control. But he always is. I've been held by the sea. I felt fire from above. I've been down to the river. I ain't the same, but gonna go return. Oh, my hope is in Jesus. Thank God my yesterday is gone. All my sins are forgiven. I've been washed by the I'm no stranger to prison. I've worn shackles and chains. I've been freed and forgiven. I'm not going back, never be the same. That's why I sing. All my hope is in Jesus. Thank God my yesterday's gone. All my sins are forgiven. Oh Lord, I've been washed by the blood. It's the kind of thing that messes breaks a man, breaks him down to his knees. Oh God, I've been broken more than a time or 2 years long. They picked me up, showed me what I mean to be a man. All my hope is in Jesus. Thank God my yesterday's gone. All my sins are forgiven.
Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity.
Back.
Okay.
Back to Seahawk Talk. I hope you enjoyed my cousin Ray Tierney. He's living in Florida with his wife, and he is the best singer-songwriter I know, giving praise to Jesus, and we will get out of this crisis sure enough. So thanks to Ray for his live show on March 29. We are ready to go live to John Ingalls, who's, I gotta ask, John, where are you located?
Well, right now I'm located in Little Compton, Rhode Island, just about 3 miles as the crow flies from Salve, Regina, right across the water.
Well, it's great to have you here on Seahawk Talk for a segment with our sailing head coach. You've been the coach for how long?
Oh, I don't want to tell you. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. It's got at least 15 years. When we started, there really wasn't much of anything here. And Sister Esther and I brought this team from absolutely an unknown team to a nationally ranked team. So we're pretty proud of that.
And sailing, like equestrian, like tennis, they are fall and spring sports for our university. You guys have very little time off.
That's correct, and we start the first day of school, and whether it's early September or late August, and we sail right up through into November, and then we start up again in the end of February, which is a little brisk. But aside from that, we take every other year we'll take a trip to Hawaii. We have a training trip in January to Hawaii, where we go out there and we race and practice and have a lot of fun swimming and surfing and hiking, but every day we're sailing, that's for sure.
What has been the biggest change for you during this pandemic?
Well, with regard to the situation we're in?
Yes, from a coaching standpoint and from your team standpoint.
Well, it's hard being separated, as we all know. I'm sure everybody's frustrated with that. We do touch base. Via phone and some video chats. We've had some small groups get together because we have a lot of work to do. We have 38 sailboats that need to be put away before the summer gets here, and that's a lot of work. So I've been picking away at that. We've got 3 motorboats, same situation there. So it's there's a lot of work left for us to do. I'm hoping that we can get through this crisis and maybe have a little bit of time to get back together at the end of the year before graduation and take care of business.
So you said you put the sailboats away for the summer.
Yeah, that sounds funny, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, we sail when most people don't sail. We start up in the fall when most people are putting their boats away, and we sail up through November, and then we start up again in February. I don't think any sane person is thinking about sailing in New England in February, so I guess we're not sane. But that's when our boats come back out, and then we sail right through May into early June if we make it to nationals. And at that point, we put the boats away because we don't come back until the fall. So, yes, we put them away for the summer. It's a little counterintuitive there.
Now, John, I've seen the social media postings and the postings throughout campus. You and I've actually spoken with a gentleman on the phone as recently as last week who's coming in. He's a Newport resident, and he's coming in and he has a sailing background, even though he didn't sail in high school. What do you say to prospective sailors as far as those that are interested in coming to Salve Regina and want to get into sailing, whether they have zero experience or tons of experience?
Well, we certainly love people that have some experience, but we're very open and love people that are interested in sailing. So it's really not, it's a varsity sailing program, so we compete at the highest levels, but at the same time, we don't turn anybody away. If you're truly interested in sailing and you want to put a lot of time in and work to learn how to sail or to improve on some basic sailing skills that you may have, we want you. You're welcome on our team, so we'd love to have you.
Now, we'll probably get into it next week, the topic of your seniors, because we're running short on our time here. But Lucy Ford is somebody that comes to mind as far as having some significant opportunities to contribute outside of the sailing arena.
Well, yes, Lucy is, she's a senior, as you said. She's also one of our captains, and she is a biology major, and she has done a lot of work outside of Salve, doing research, and she's a nationally recognized research scholar. And unfortunately, she was supposed to present her a big paper that she did. It's actually a little above my head with regard to our liver and functions and some of the I guess some of the I don't know if they're pollutants or some of the products that we use in our society today that can actually affect us adversely. So, wow, what an amazing person she is. She's also an awesome sailor. If we're going to talk about sailing, we had her down in Florida this February, and she was kicking butt down there at USF. And again, we were getting ready to go here, and then the virus hit, unfortunately, so we've had to shut things down. But she's an amazing woman. I'll tell you, she brings the team together. She is, she's just so accepting of everybody and understanding of everybody's differences, because, we're all different, and that's what makes our team great, is we have people from Norway, we have people from Hong Kong, we have people from Hawaii, we have people from St. Thomas. Oh yeah, we have a bunch of people from the 48 states here in the mainland. But we're a pretty diverse team, and Lucy is just so amazing at being able to reach out and touch everybody and relate to them and make them feel comfortable and welcome. I'm really going to miss her, but I don't think I'm really going to miss her, because I know she's going to hang around, and we'll see a lot of her. I'm really excited about that.
Well, it's great having you around in Little Compton, Rhode Island. We talked yesterday, and I was suggesting that maybe your sport is the one that could stay active during this crisis. I bet you can't wait for that first time back on the water.
Well, I think you're right, Ed. I think we could sail the sailing, it's an amazing sport in that it's a team sport, and we have all these people on the team, but it's also an individual sport as the individual driving the boat, but then we're back to the individual team within a boat, so it's a two-person team within our team of, what do we have, like 33 people right now. So we could get out there and sail, but we'd have to be careful of the social distancing as the large team, but within the boat, I think we probably would be okay. So truth be told, I'm out there on the water for my own sailing, my competitive sailing, and practicing. I do a lot of 505 sailing now and trying to gear up for some pretty big regattas that will hopefully happen this summer, and then on to the Worlds in Bermuda the following year. So it's a big ramp up, a lot of effort, and this situation we're all in, this terrible situation, it's definitely putting a kink in our practice schedule, that's for sure.
Well, here's hoping that it happens sooner than later for you and for all Seahawks. Thank you for joining us on today's Seahawk Talk segment. We'll look forward to having you on each Thursday at 3:45. And great job. You're looking good, John.
Well, thanks, Ed. You too. And let's not forget Sister Esther. Sister Esther was the founder of our team, and we lost her a year ago, November, and she's sorely missed, but she's with us in spirit. And I know I was with Sister Therese when we spread her ashes in the bay where we sail, so I know she's watching us every day and with us every day. So God bless her. We love her.
Love having her, and she was featured in the montage that we showed of some clips, because I know she's near and dear to your heart as well as all of ours.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
We'll be back with Seahawk Talk tomorrow, Friday, and we'll be joined by another 4 guests. Thanks to both Kevin Gilmartin, Sebastian Noordzy, Chelsea Francis, and John Ingalls. That's today's Seahawk Talk segment. My name is Ed Habishaw. Stay safe. Keep your distance. Wash your hands.
Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity. Better keep your distance. Better keep your vanity.
Maria.